Passion saves lives.
Small business owners and independent contractors get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, procurement irregularities and conflict of interest concerns in Integrity Commission Market Me report. Body of missing Christiana High student found. Calls for justice following Linstead mass shooting. Culinary magic. Jamaica Food Drink Festival returns with a bang. In the business report, crime stop, 36 years of rewarding service. And in sports, Reggae Boys play away to Curacao in Friday's World Cup qualifier.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
Quench your craving with the value menu from KFC, with combos starting at just $620. KFC.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, October 7, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. The government has officially tabled the Green Paper on the National Policy for Culture, Entertainment and the Creative Economy in Parliament. The move marks a major step toward developing a unified framework to strengthen Jamaica's cultural identity, expand the creative sector and safeguard the rights of practitioners. CVM's Akeem Oret has the details.
After months of consultations and cabinet approval, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport has tabled its long-awaited Green Paper on the National Policy for Culture, Entertainment and the Creative Economy. The document outlines the government's plan to build a sustainable framework for Jamaica's creative industries.
This Green Paper's forward-looking approach places a premium on a just and cohesive society, equity and inclusivity, empowered communities, preservation of our rich heritage, respect for cultural diversity and cultural expressions.
Minister Grange says practitioners from the entertainment, culture and the creative industries are at the heart of Jamaica's economic development.
Jamaica's creative economy is already a significant contributor to national development, generating over 5% of GDP and supporting nearly 3% of employment. This performance places entertainment, culture, and the creative industries alongside tourism, construction, agriculture, and other vital pillars of our economy.
She emphasizes the Green Paper laid before Parliament on Tuesday charts a future where Jamaica and its culture are at the center of economic transformation, social cohesion, and national pride.
This Green Paper is not for any one of us to grandstand, but for us to work together. Because when it comes to our culture, when it comes to our sports, which we refer to as physical culture, there is no divide. It's about one people charting a path to our success as Jamaica, the Jamaica brand, is the best brand in the world.
If passed, the policy could redefine how Jamaica nurtures and protects its creative talents, transforming culture and entertainment into one of the country's most powerful economic engines. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
The leader of government business in the House of Representatives has appointed members to two of the Parliament's most visible and influential oversight bodies, the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, and the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC. The committee is both central to ensuring transparency and accountability in government spending, will feature a mix of seasoned lawmakers and new entrants from both sides of the aisle. The PAC, which scrutinizes government expenditure and the Auditor General's reports, will be chaired by Julian Robinson, a member of the opposition. Other members include Frank Witter, Xavier Main, Heroy Clark, Tova Hamilton, Delano Seavright, Peter Bunting, Lothan Cousins, Heather Miller-Bennett, Christopher Brown, Dennis Gordon, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, and Carencia Morris. The PAC traditionally plays a critical role in probing issues of public finance, contract management, and efficiency across ministries and agencies. The PAAC, which monitors the implementation of government programs and the allocation of budgetary resources, will be chaired by Peter Bunting. Its members are Andrew Morris, Heroy Clark, Juliet Holness, Delroy Williams, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, Everald Warmington, Crystal Lee, Mikhail Phillips, Nikisha Burchell, Omar Newell, Damian Crawford, and Wavell Hines. Both committees are expected to begin their work in the coming weeks. 3 persons have been convicted and 6 others are before the court for their participation in a criminal network, including money mules responsible for a $61 million fraud, cybercrime and money laundering. Well, the convictions stem from the discovery of a SIM swap scheme in which victims first lost control of their mobile numbers. The perpetrators then used social engineering to create or take over online banking profiles before diverting funds into accounts controlled by money mules, who quickly withdrew the cash to frustrate recovery efforts. The offenses included engaging in transactions involving criminal property, unauthorized access to computer data or devices, and unlawfully making available devices or data for the commission of an offense. The convictions are the result of the collaborative efforts of the Financial Investigations Division, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, MOCA. We hear from Keith Darian, Principal Director in the Ministry of Finance and Public Service.
Over the past year, combined strategies in operations, training, and policy have measurably improved our detection, interception, and apprehension of offenders, enabled dismantling of criminal networks, and resulted in more charges laid and more victories in courts. Amid our ongoing Money Mule public education campaign, these convictions are among the clearest illustration of the message we are sending to the public. Do not let anyone use your bank account or identity for criminal activity. If you do, you will face serious consequences.
Meanwhile, the body of a missing second-form student from Christiana High School in Manchester was found on Monday. Police in the parish are urging Marcus Sargent of Riverside Drive, Ballaston, Clarendon, to turn himself in. The request comes as investigators probe the circumstances surrounding the death of his daughter. Meanwhile, the Christiana High School community is in mourning as students and teachers struggle to cope with the loss of one of their own. Carla Ramdeen reports.
The discovery of 13-year-old Shantina Sargent's body has left the community of Christiana in shock. Her remains were found by police at the back of a house, covered under zinc sheeting next to a burnt-out refrigerator. She would have been 14 years old today. Our news team spoke with commanding officer for the Manchester Division, Superintendent Kerry Duncan.
The charred remains of a body was found in a burnt-out refrigerator, believed to be that of Shantina Sargent. We are currently looking for her father, Mr. Lawrence sergeant, whom we believe at this point can assist in our investigations.
Superintendent Duncan adds a team of police counselors have been sent to Christiana High School to provide support for students.
A team of police officers from the Manchester CSSB and CSSB headquarters are currently at the Christiana High School doing what we call victim support and offering counseling in that space.
The tragedy has left the students and teachers at Christiana High heartbroken. Today, they gathered on campus for a candlelit memorial. Principal of Christiana High School, Lee St. Wallace, explained that concerns grew when Shantina was not marked present on the register.
We were told that the father turned up at the Christiana police station on Friday, reporting her missing. And so when we got the call from the Christiana police, we went to our registers and we recognized that she did not turn up at school the Thursday prior to the Friday as well.
Mr. Wallace says the school community is struggling to process the loss.
Well, it's really a sad day. We're still a shift school. The students on the morning shift, we would have met with them already. We would have seen where our students are not coping well. But we have our guidance counselors on board. We have some teachers on board. We have the trauma unit from the Ministry of Education who are here supporting us. The members of the police, CCSSB unit from Kingston and from Manchester have turned up to support us.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Abuse in every form is wrong and requires the involvement of a nation to make this known. It's therefore very important to know the facts and stay informed in order to assist in the process of protecting the children from what many adults may have endured in the past. Carolyn Brown zooms in on carnal abuse.
The sexual offenders, we need you to leave our children alone. We are encouraging you to seek professional psychological help for the issue that you are experiencing. But it is very important that you leave our children alone, give them a chance to grow up and have a normal life.
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is not letting up on calling out pedophiles who continue to abuse minors while dodging carnal abuse charges.
So carnal abuse is a form of sexual abuse. It is specifically the act of sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16. So whether it is consensual or non-consensual, because a child under the age of 16 cannot give consent.
In 2024, some 2,533 incidents of sexual abuse were reported to the National Children's Registry, the NCR. In August 2025 alone, 224 incidents were documented. Based on trends and external influences, there are concerns some cases are not being reported, but the CPFSA's Public Relations and Communications Manager is encouraging minors to report abuse.
Children who are exposed to a lot of adult content may feel if they are being harmed or abused that this abuse is normal because of the content that they are exposed to. And so we are encouraging parents to ensure that you do your best to keep your children or to keep adult content away from your children, whether it's content on social media, so to put in proper parental blocks on their cell phones or tablets to limit screen time, to ensure that when they're using their electronic devices, that you're around, you hear and know and see what it is that they're watching, what it is that they're looking at. It's also very important for parents to keep a line of communication open with their children about sex, sexual touching, about the dangers of unsafe adults, so that they know that if something has happened to them, they can come and speak to their parents about it.
Newly elected People's National Party Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, is appealing to members of the society to stop violence against women and children. He notes this message is aimed at not only people in Westmoreland but Jamaica in general. Vaz spoke specifically about last weekend's gruesome murder of 29-year-old bar operator Carrion Malcolm, whose body was stuffed into a suitcase in her community of Gullybank in Savlamar, Westmoreland.
From the home to the school to the church, in the community. Let us teach our people how to love each other, how to live with each other in a comfortable and respectable manner. Let us teach our people how to deal with resolutions when it comes down to arguments. We don't have to fight about everything. We must can talk it over and deal with things in a decent way.
He's also calling on churches, schools, and the public in general to join forces.
From the home to the school to the church, in the community. Let us teach our people how to love each other, how to live with each other in a comfortable and respectable manner. Let us teach our people how to deal with resolutions when it comes down to arguments. We don't have to fight about everything. We must can talk it over and deal with things in a decent way.
CVM News at 7 continues in just a moment.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. Beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
UDC for you.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Thanks so much for staying with us. We continue the local news. Days after Sunday's mass shooting in Commodore Linstead, St. Catherine, the community remains in deep shock. 5 people, including a 4-year-old child, were killed when gunmen dressed as police officers opened fire on residents gathered near a shop. As grief grips the small community, local leaders are calling for justice and stronger efforts to protect citizens. Akeem Art has this story.
The pain still runs deep in Commodore Linstead, where 5 lives were cut short in a hail of gunfire on Sunday, as residents say they are struggling to come to terms with the brutal attack that claimed the lives of a 4-year-old girl and others. Councillor for the Bogwalk Division, Denise Murphy Bramwell, says this will have a lasting impact.
It's been very painful, and I can say that I don't see this leaving us, for now. I think it's going to be, a lasting impact, on the community.
The councillor adds that the senseless killings are eroding the very fabric of Jamaican society.
As far as I'm concerned, we are basically destroying the future of Jamaica, right? And so, who knows, that's one more of our teacher or one more for our doctor, or one more for our nurse that has been taken.
Meanwhile, Children's Officer of St. Catherine from the Child Protection and Family Services Agency says the situation could have long-term psychological effects, especially since the attackers posed as police officers.
This is going to send a negative message. It's going to drive a lot of fear into our children, right? And based on what we heard in terms of the persons who profile themselves as police, it may also have a negative impact on how our children will see police on a whole, right? So it is something that we hope will never happen again, you know, where our youngsters can be targeted in that way. And then in addition to the impact it's going to leave on our children.
And as investigators continue their probe, Mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott, says justice must be swift.
This to me just tells the state that Jamaica has fallen in. I'm hoping that the security forces will leave no stones unturned to bring these heartless killers to justice. I want the police to find them, wherever they are, in whichever hole they go, wherever they dug and hide themselves. I want the security forces to take them out.
For now, Commodore remains a community in mourning, its residents united in grief, but desperate for answers. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
The Integrity Commission report concerning allegations of procurement irregularities and conflict of interest in the award of contracts to Market Me Consulting Limited by the Ministry of Health and Wellness was tabled in Parliament today. The investigation revealed procurement irregularities and conflict of interest concerns in the award of contracts to Market Me by the MOHW in relation to a social marketing campaign. Here with a breakdown of the findings and recommendations is Giovanni Dennis.
Well, thank you so much, Nika. Well, first up, the report came in late this afternoon and we are still going through the report. Now, this is the background to the probe. On August 7, 2020, the Director of Investigations at the Integrity Commission, that's Kevin Stevenson, he commenced an investigation into allegations of procurement irregularities and conflict of interest in the award of contracts to Market Me by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in respect of the development and implementation of a social marketing campaign during the period January 2016 to December 2020. Now, Director of Investigations Kevin Stevenson found that the circumstances surrounding the Ministry's acceptance of the unsolicited proposal made by the Market Me Consulting Limited lacked transparency and financial prudence. Now, these are some of the main findings. The investigation revealed procurement irregularities and conflict of interest concerns in the award of contracts to Market Me by the Ministry of Health in relation to a social marketing campaign. Now, the contracts had a cumulative value of $78.6 million. This is 15 contracts in total. 14 of the contracts that were awarded to Market Me were done by the Ministry of Health and the other by the National Family Planning Board. Now, the utilization of the direct contracting procurement methodology by the Ministry of Health to award the contracts to Market Me, some of the contracts that is, amounts to a breach of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service Circular number 27. Now, these contracts were listed as reimbursement, but they exceeded the 1.5 million allowed for direct contracting. Both were done on May 1, 2019, valued at 1.75 million and 1.54 million respectively. Now, the Director of Investigations concluded that the three instances in which the Ministry of Health described the services rendered in the award of contract as being reimbursement to Market Me Consulting Limited were inappropriate, notwithstanding the explanation provided by the then Permanent Secretary Dunstan Bryan that the contract awards were so classified on the basis that the company made purchases on behalf of the ministry for the Jamaica Moves campaign and thereby required reimbursement. Now, the Director of Investigations further concludes that the aforementioned justification demonstrates poor and ineffective procurement planning on the part of the Ministry Ministry of Health and Wellness in determining the goods and services needed by the ministry and thereby ensuring compliance with the Government of Jamaica's procurement guidelines. Now, this method of acquiring goods or services effectively circumvented established procurement procedures and is wholly inappropriate. Now, the Director of Investigations also concluded that the apparent award of 6 quote-unquote contracts on the same day, that was May 1, 2019, was irregular and contrary to the principle of competition. Now, this were all were connected to the Jamaica Moves campaign. Now, we said it was irregular, especially considering the nature of the services said to have been provided by Market Me and which were all connected to the Jamaica Moves campaign. Now, in point of fact, the report says the contracts were described as relating to agency management and public relations and also reimbursement. The Director of Investigations further concludes that the explanation provided by the Permanent Secretary that the purchase orders were all generated on the same date for all activities that were conducted over a period of time and that the invoices submitted to the ministry at the same time and that these activities were done by the firm after the original contract had expired. It also noted that the ministry needed to maintain the presence of the Jamaica Moves activities. No, this is what the Director of Investigations is quoting from the former Permanent Secretary, and he says that that explanation does not adequately justify the irregularity. Now, further, the report says that having regard to the award of multiple contracts on the same date to the same entity, it is instructive to note that the Appendix 111 of the GOJ Handbook of Public Sector Procurement Procedures describes the splintering or fragmentation of contracts as the deliberate separation of contracts done specifically to avoid the requirements for competition or approval. Further, the 6 awards of separate contracts on the same date to the same entity in relation to the same connected activity or program could, without more, be construed as an attempt to splinter the contract. Now, this conclusion is premised upon the fact that if a single contract had been awarded, the cumulative value would have exceeded the $1.5 million.
Right, and we are hearing about some recommendations, Gio.
Well, yes, some of the recommendations is essentially saying, Nika, that the Ministry of Health should refrain from the improper use of the direct contracting procurement methodology and ensure that this methodology is utilized only within the parameters of the Public Procurement Act. Now, it's also recommended that the Ministry of Health should ensure that at all times it has in place a comprehensive procurement plan which facilitates value for money, prudent financial management, and allows the entity to plan more effectively in the procurement of goods, works, and services while adhering to international best practices and applicable laws and procurement guidelines. It's also recommended that the Ministry of Health cut out from its procurement practices the award of contracts based on the receipt of unsolicited proposals without administering the requisite due diligence.
All right. Quite a bit happening there, Giovanni, and I'm sure we will continue to monitor those developments. Thanks so much. Well, Mayor Andrew Swaby and the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, says the capital's shelters are currently operating at full capacity. Amid heightened calls for the removal of the unhoused from spaces like Justice Square in downtown Kingston, Mayor Swaby stressed that the situation requires a more sustainable approach. Crystal Williams has that story.
Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, says the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, the National Solid Waste Management Agency, NSWMA, the fire department, the police, along with mental health professionals, are working together to tackle the issue of homelessness in Kingston.
In recent time, a lot of persons, you have seen an increase of the number of homeless persons on the street, and Justice Square is no different from what we have seen, because this is one of the concentrated areas.
Mayor Swaby says one of the recurring challenges that they face is having enough space in homeless shelters.
While we can take a few, there's no enough space in the shelter, and we are trying to deal with that situation. But I want you to be mindful also. It's not just only homeless persons are in this location.
While advising that official provisions have been made for persons to be fed, the mayor adds that a collective approach is required.
I'm asking persons who are feeding persons on the street to stop. We have put a system in place where you can come to 65 Hanover Street, you can indicate when you feed them, and we can have these persons be fed right at 65 Hanover Street.
Mayor Swaby says that he has assigned a homeless committee comprised of numerous public servants, private sector workers, and volunteer organizations to assist in finding solutions to this sensitive issue.
While I understand persons are asking for them to be off the street, I'm asking persons to be mindful that it's a very sensitive matter, and there are laws to guide you how you deal with this situation, and you have to be conscious. And that is why I've taken the approach to have a joint approach where persons with the requisite skill set can handle the matter.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
There's more to come when we return.
You're craving with the value menu from KFC with combos starting at just $620. The time by KFC is
7:30.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio? We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. When are your friend or your family? Somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Thanks for staying with us. The Jamaica Food and Drink Festival is set for November 13 to 16, and it promises to be a feast for the senses, celebrating the island's rich culinary heritage. The season kicked off Sunday evening at the Jamaica Food and Drink Kitchen, where vibrant flavors, sizzling aromas, and lively performances gave food lovers a taste of what's to come.
Long before the first dish was served, the beat was already cooking. The perfect appetizer for a night where vibes met flavor. The air sizzled with the aroma of sweet and savory delights as food lovers from across the island gathered for the opening event to the 11th staging of the Jamaica Food and Drink Festival.
Tonight is about the best of the best, amazing wines from around the globe, paired with specific foods. And, you know, we really curate the menu to pair with the notes and the flavors of the wines and the food. And so it's nice when you see people experiencing the food. They go, oh, wow, this works so well with this wine. And we're like, yeah, that's deliberate.
The Jamaica Food and Drink Festival is a sizzling showcase of the island's rich culinary heritage. The event brings together chefs, mixologists, and food lovers for a feast of flavors and creativity. more than just a tasting event. Director Alicia Bogues says the festival celebrates local ingredients, innovation, and the vibrant spirit of Jamaican cuisine.
We love a good time, we love good food, and we love good drinks. And this is really a culmination of all of that. Our culture, entertainment, vibe, flavor. This is Jamaica.
The food is spectacular as always. You know, one thing you can rely on the Jamaica Food and Drink Festival to do is to give you absolutely delicious food. Everything I've had so far has been just off the chain.
And I remember earlier just tasting something, and my whole, my brain just, everything just glowed. It was just so surprising. I wasn't expecting so many different flavors and everything to just be kicking one time.
Is there any particular meal so far tonight that's been your favorite?
Oxtail was amazing. I'm Jamaican, so I never talk about that oxtail. It was amazing. It was great.
The food has been amazing. It was nice to get to try like a different assortment of items. The drinks are really good. I love the wines.
And while wine connoisseurs were having their moment, Scotiabank was raising a glass of its own as one of the major sponsors behind the culinary celebration. Marketing manager Quantessa Graham says the bank's involvement goes beyond sponsorship.
For Scotia, partnership is essential, and we've partnered with our Visa team. And with partnership, we deliver even more value outside of banking, exceptional memories, which our credit cards are known for. We also love to celebrate Jamaican-ness, the innovativeness, and we also celebrate the people who make this festival what it is, the chefs, the artisans, just everything that's very fantastic about Jamaica's food culture.
Now, the festival kicks off on Thursday, November 13 with Kuya at the Festival Marketplace in downtown Kingston, offering a celebration of Jamaican food reimagined. Then on Friday, November 14, Decade 2.0 brings together past festival favorites at Hope Gardens. Then on Saturday, November 15, Meat, Street and the Market at the Port Royal Naval Dockyard, showcasing street food and good vibes. Then the festival concludes on Sunday, November 16 with a boozy brunch at a location to be announced.
I think I'm really interested to see the different diversity between all of the events. You know, some are a bit more like casual and laid back, more food truck oriented. Some are more of like that fancier vibe.
The standard is set high tonight. The standard is very high, and I expect it to continue throughout the rest of the season.
So much has happened with artificial intelligence in recent weeks, and we agree you must not be left behind. So here's another look at major happenings and developments around tech and society. Welcome to Tech Pulse.
In Tech Pulse this week, we take a deeper look at responsible data use and major events surrounding tech and artificial intelligence. Yes, we love sharing pictures of holidays, celebrations, and private moments with each other. It's a beautiful way to connect. But once those photos are online, they live there forever, visible worldwide, often beyond our control. The story of Ella shows how this can lead to consequences we never imagined. That's why we're all called to act. Strengthening media literacy, protecting our personal data, and being mindful about security can help us avoid harm before it happens.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me, just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. I know for you these pictures are just memories, but for others they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. A future where my identity can be stolen just like that. Where I can go to prison